Being a mom means doing 100% of the emotional labor, even when the custody agreement says 50-50.
Just attended the funeral of my marriage and 9 other women via divorce court, and I noticed some patterns I'd like to share with you. Number one, 100% of the petitioners, meaning the person initiated and asking for the divorce, were women. Number two, 90%, so all but one woman did not ask for spousal support. Same goes for child support. Not everyone had children involved, but for the ones who did have children involved, there was only one woman. It was the same woman who got the spousal support, also got child support. The rest of the women did not ask for child support. Property was wishy-washy, like not everyone owned property, but for the ones who did own property, aside from one like special circumstance, the men were keeping the homes and the women were not asking for any equity in the home. They were walking away from their husband. So let me just recap. Women are leaving men. They are not asking for any financial ties to these men, even if they have children to support. I am sorry, but I think that speaks fucking volumes. Because these are women who have decided, other than our children being the thing that ties us together, I want nothing else tying us together energetically, right?
Stop it. Get some help.
80% of divorces are filed by women. Nowadays, many continue this trend, but there's also a growing number of men choosing not to get married. While marriage is in free fall, divorce is booming. It's important to note that she doesn't mention the age of these women. If they're under 30, they usually fight less for the man's assets. But if they're over 40, they can be ruthless. At the end of the day, the reality in this country is that men rarely win in a divorce case. Don't be fooled.
I thought divorce was going to be the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I fear it might be the best thing that ever happened to me. I mean, all the divorce girlies know. Like the first few months, let's say 3 to 6, are horrifying. Yes. And then like you get to that 6 month to a year mark and you're like, my hair's grown out, my skin is cleared up, my aura is bright. I have new friends. I'm making more money than I ever made. I'm thriving. I'm happy. My kids are happy. If you have kids, you know what it's like to feel joy again. Yeah, I don't know. I really thought my life was over, but it turns out that the over part was temporary, and life gets really good after divorce if you let it. Trust me.
When a woman shows that much resentment and comes undone after a divorce, all it really does is make it clear why the man left. Misery isn't something that's done to you. It's something you carry inside, and whoever carries it radiates it. No man thrives next to someone who lives in a constant state of complaint. That's why, when divorce comes, many men don't fight to stay. They leave. They know the hit will be hard at first. The first few years are tough. You lose money, stability, and routine. But a man regroups, gets organized, and starts rebuilding. On the other hand, many women realize too late that divorce wasn't liberation. It was a slow slide into poverty.
Women get rich in divorce. That's the favorite bedtime story a lot of men like to tell each other. And as a divorce lawyer, let me be real with you. Most women aren't walking away with mansions and yachts. They're walking away with their peace and maybe a 2006 Honda Civic. The truth is, a lot of women leave with less than what they came in with. They gave up their careers to raise children. They paused their dreams so he could chase his. And now they're starting over, emotionally drained and financially behind. He got promotions while she got postpartum. He built credit and she built a family. He got to focus and she got to multitask until burnout became her baseline. Divorce doesn't make women rich. It just shows how broke the system is. By the time she files, she's already done the math, emotionally, mentally, and financially. She's not chasing a bag. She's trying to build a life again from scratch. So the next time someone says she took him for everything, Ask them to show you the receipts. Instead, I see women piecing themselves back together with grace, grit, and just enough in the tank to keep them going. And that's the real wealth.
Cocaine is a hell of a drug.
Here comes the speech about how a woman could have been a millionaire if she hadn't gotten married. I've seen plenty of women who've never been involved with a man and still get nowhere in their careers. On the contrary, many get laid off out of the blue and end up below the poverty line, far from living better than when they were with a man. Besides, the data shows that among the top reasons men file for bankruptcy, divorce ranks in the top 3. What happens is that statistics show many women walk away with little because most men are middle class and don't own property, which limits what a woman can take in a divorce. But there's that top 10%, mostly upper middle class or wealthy men, and those are the ones divorce truly wrecks. It all comes down to net worth. But let's hear what another attorney has to say in the next video.
A wife getting divorced in Texas is entitled to a just and right division of the community assets. Now that means everything that was acquired during the marriage, even if their husband was the breadwinner and earned all of the income, every bit of retirement that husband earned while he was working. And if he purchased a house during the marriage, that house is divisible. Everything that was bought during the marriage, even if the wife didn't work or earn any income, it's all divisible. And the wife is entitled to a fair division of those assets. A wife in Texas may be entitled to spousal maintenance after the marriage is ended. That means that they would get paid a certain amount of money per month to help support themselves. You have to have been married at least 10 years or been the victim of domestic violence, or if you were disabled, you could be eligible to request spousal maintenance to be paid after your divorce is finished.
And of course, they say they walk away from divorce with nothing. Give me a break. Many of them, after 10 years of marriage, have access to practically all the income you'll make in your lifetime, even money you earned before the marriage, the house, the 401k, the savings. And since psychological disabilities are all the rage now and everyone suffers from something, they claim to be unfit to work and go after spousal support. That other lawyer says women leave with nothing, but the woman who doesn't get money in a divorce is the one who was with a man she couldn't get anything out of. That's why a lot of men have learned. They quit their jobs or get themselves fired just to avoid paying alimony or to keep the judge from tearing them apart.
I am so grateful for my divorce for so many reasons. One big reason I'm grateful for my divorce is that my kids get the best version of me. I was in the marriage. I was depressed. I was miserable. I was confused. I was lost. I was walking on eggshells, trying to hold it together. I was trying to hide their dad's addiction from them. I was, just in so many enabling patterns, and I was really struggling. And they were watching their mom not setting boundaries, not being powerful or independent. And now after divorce, they get the best version of me. I hear all the time, my kids are so proud of me, watching me on my growth journey and stepping into my power, creating a career, being financially independent. Like, they're so proud of me. And they also thank me for getting a divorce. They thank me for making the hard decision for them to get them out of the toxic situations. So it's shown me how capable I am. It pushed me. It pushed me hard out of my comfort zones of feeling like I needed a man to provide for me or abdicating my financial power to him. Like, it pushed me to really rely on myself, be creative, be resilient, figure things out on my own, and prove to myself what I'm really, truly capable of. I learned what I am worth. I learned my worth and what I deserve. Out of the divorce gave me the opportunity to really dig deep into my own personal growth and understand and realize what I'm worthy of and what I deserve, which is healthy, safe relationships. One other thing I'm really grateful for about my divorce is I got to take all of that energy I was pouring into trying to save a relationship that was unsavable and give it back to me. And for the first time in my life, I got to put all of that energy into me, cultivating my career, developing myself as a person, healing myself, learning how to be a better person and a better partner. There are so many gifts I got out of divorce that I am so grateful for.
Remember, brothers, that women are the only ones who will sacrifice their families for their own happiness. Then she'll hit you with lines like, "The kids deserve a happy mother," or "They can be raised by another man who's not their dad." Because deep down, she doesn't really care about the kids. She cares about her own benefit, even if it doesn't sound nice to say it. What's really concerning is the number of married men who end up turning to alcohol or drugs. A lot of men are miserable in their marriages. Imagine working all the time and then coming home to a woman who constantly complains about you, just because she's unhappy with herself, because she wants to go party with her friends, because she doesn't even want to make you a sandwich. That's why when they get left, a lot of men end up thriving. So much so that when you look at their ex-wives, most of them end up worse off. Coincidence? I don't think so.
Women.
I've been a forensic accountant for 25 years, and angry men always ask me, why should she get half of the money? Because once they get married, it's not his money, it's their money. The money earned during a marriage is marital money, and they are both entitled to it, no matter whose name is on the paycheck. And most of the time, it's the wife who stays home to raise the children. So even though it's her husband's name on the paycheck, she has made valuable contributions to that household. So yes, your wife is entitled to half of the money, even though her name was not on that paycheck.
Modern marriage is a deal with the devil. No matter what you do or what you build, in the end, half of it isn't yours. And now take a look at the next video, because here comes the perfect justification for why you always lose.
Did you know that couples aged 50 and older are getting divorced at higher rates than we've previously seen? And even higher in couples aged 65 and older. The 50 and older crowd makes up a quarter of all divorces in the US right now. This has been and continues to be a growing phenomenon, and I want to discuss why that might be. Because if we look at this information and pair it with the fact that women file for 70% of all divorces, how men who are married live longer than men who aren't, and how all of that might be leading us to where we are right now. I saw this story on CNN, and they're interviewing a divorce attorney, and here is what one of her clients specifically said and quoted. I had one client tell me, "I do not want to die next to that man. I'm out." First, let's talk about why the 50 and older crowd might be deciding to divorce later in life. In this excerpt from the American Bar Association, it talks about some reasons as to why. And most often, it happens when couples become empty nesters and realize that raising children was what was keeping them together. The second is that due to a longer life expectancy, couples are finding themselves in their 50s and 60s unhappy with 20 to 40 more years left to live, and they don't want to do it their way. They don't want to be complacent. They've got a short window of time left, and they are no longer going to waste it. So what does this information and the information that women initiate 70% of divorces have to do with each other? In this piece from the BBC, they say that how partners do or don't meet their emotional needs in marriage. Yet it might be a little bit more complicated. There might be a little bit more nuance. So what might that be? I talked to Heidi Carr, a psychologist and expert on domestic violence at the U.S. Education Development Center, and she explains that there's no coincidence that the rise of divorce has coincided with women's liberation. Economic independence is an imperative before a woman can attempt to leave a marriage. Either alone or with children to support, it's extremely difficult for women to leave a marriage unless they have some way to make money on their own. Did you know that 75% of women between the ages of 25 and 54 were working? So more women are independent when it comes to making their own money. Whereas 40, 50 years ago, that was not the case. Not only that, but no-fault divorce wasn't even legal. Not to mention that women couldn't even have their own checking accounts. So in other words, women's entry into the workforce enabled them to leave unhappy marriages for the first time. They were no longer financially bound to remain in abusive partnerships or relationships where their needs were not being met, and women thus began to initiate divorces at a greater scale. What was that piece about women's emotional needs not being met? A lot of the times for divorce, the expectation is that they have when they enter marriage may fail to match reality. Women have a higher expectation of how a partner will meet their emotional needs than men, which can lead to disappointment post-wedding. This license-based therapist who specializes in conflict resolution says men are usually socialized to have lower emotional intelligence than women, and it can lead to female partners feeling unsupported and doing much of the emotional labor in their relationships. Let's see what else she had to say.
Oh, hell no!
Notice two things. The entire interview was with female attorneys, who always list emotions as the #1 reason and repeat that men lack emotional intelligence. But they never talk about the financial side. Most men who lose their marriage at 50 are just 10 years away from retirement. Many women start asking for divorce at 60 simply because they don't want to take care of the man. That's why you see so many men in nursing homes, men who spent their entire lives providing for a woman. And when the time comes for that man to finally be home more, she chooses to leave. That's why divorce is one of the top 3 causes of male bankruptcy. At that age, the woman gets a highly favorable divorce, with alimony and half the retirement. But let's continue.
This also means that women are more finely attuned to problems in relationship red flags, and their tendency to be the primary communicators and empathizers means that they may also be the first to raise issues. Women also tend to gain fewer emotional benefits from marriage, which we've already known for a very long time that men benefit from marriage way more than women do. We know that women who have previously been married have more leisure time and more downtime to fulfill their hobbies. Married men experience multiple perks, including living longer and earning more money. Women don't usually benefit from their relationships in the same way. Instead, they bear the brunt of household and child-rearing labor, which can leave working women overwhelmed and stressed and depressed and anxious. Now, why do single women live longer, happier lives than single men? Because we also tend to have more close friends than men, meaning we have better support systems both to discuss any marital issues as well as to ease a transition back into single life. In this piece from Harvard Health, we learned that studies over the past 150 years say just how much healthier men and marriages are. Married men enjoy better health than their single, divorced, or widowed peers. Mental health is most prominent. Married men have a lower risk of depression and a higher likelihood of satisfaction with life in retirement than their unmarried peers. A Harvard study reported that socially isolated men have an 82% higher risk of dying from heart disease compared with men who have strong interpersonal relationships. The New England Research Institute reported that 66% of men rely on their wives for their primary social supports. Men don't have the types of relationships that women have. When they get divorced, they're lonely. They're isolated. It's harder for them to transition back into the world of singlehood than it is for women. I think we're going to continue to see older women and women of all ages forego marriage and continue to initiate divorce at an older age because of financial independence. This piece from the BBC also says the strife men face initially after divorce is short-lived, whereas women continue to suffer from more chronic long-term effects, including the loss of home ownership, reduced financial means, and increased stress from life as a single parent. But even in spite of those, only 27% of women said they regret getting a divorce. Women are willing to forgo these hardships, forgo not having a stable place to live, to forgo possibly having to raise their children on their own with little financial support, and yet they're still initiating these divorces because getting a divorce outweighs having to stay in a marriage with a person who does not meet their emotional needs. They still continue to carry the emotional, domestic labor and childcare burden, and they're tired of it. I think we're continuing to see these strides from women's liberation, women's independence, financial freedom, women getting higher education, women's less dependence on men, or less support that they need from men, and that they are no longer willing to sacrifice that happiness simply for stability's sake, or simply for the children, or even after the children have gone and they're empty nesters. They realize they have no connection other than the kids that bound them together.
Nothing less was expected from a woman wearing a pig earring. Now, out of all this, what's really concerning is that men tend to lose their friends over time, something I don't recommend. A friendship can be maintained with just a simple phone call, but women benefit more from divorce. They're the #1 destroyers of family wealth. That's why you see many young people starting life off worse than men from previous generations. Hardly anyone inherits anything or gets support from their parents, because divorce wipes out the family's wealth. There's a reason why children of divorced parents tend to do much worse. Here's another fact. Women may pursue higher education more than men, but most of them choose degrees with little added value. They don't study accounting, engineering, science, or data science. They avoid anything that involves math, which means their contribution to the country remains low. Another fact. Even after divorce, men generally have a better chance of getting back on their feet. With their money, they can afford better lawyers, postpone retirement if needed, and on top of that, it's easier for them to take their pension or retirement abroad, to the Pacific or Latin America, to enjoy life, often with a younger woman.
Here's why I think coffee dates work against you as a man. Okay, hear me out. Now I'm talking about my demographic. As you get older, maybe this is different. However, oftentimes attraction isn't there from the very beginning. And what's very important is for you to set the scene. Okay? And what happens with coffee is, in my opinion anyway, I think coffee is like an interview. Coffee is something that my 90-year-old grandmother would maybe go do. If you're going to do something like this, I highly suggest doing drinks, because drinks are fun. You go in the evening, there's some nice ambiance, you can get some cute cocktails, you're setting the scene, a sexy scene, if you will. Coffee, not sexy. Not at all. So I just think this doesn't work in your favor at all. It's a date that you can literally do with your coworkers or with your dog. I just think it doesn't work in your favor.
A woman who wants to go out for drinks on the first date is not a woman I would want as a partner. Also, what is the purpose of a first date? To talk. For you to tell me about yourself, and for me to tell you about myself. To laugh, share a few stories, and ultimately see if we have chemistry through a simple conversation. Now, on a second date, I do recommend a place designed to make the woman feel good, because by then she has already passed the test with you. She has already shown interest. That's where you, as a man, should make a move and try to win her over, because you already know that she likes you at least a little. Men who pay for expensive dinners and take a woman out drinking from the start end up with nothing but a big bill in their hand, while watching her take pictures of everything except the sponsor. Don't let yourself be used.
So I was on a date with a guy. I ordered food and coffee, and he ordered just a tea. He ate half of my food. And when the bill came, he said, "You order food, you pay, and I'm gonna send you money back for my tea." He will not send me this money, and he ate half of my food, and I paid. And the man says something about all women using men just for food. Look at this, what's happening in the world. I mean, I was so angry. You have no idea how angry I was, but I just paid and I blocked him. I mean, he ate half my food. I'm so hungry. I'm going to a coffee shop right now to eat more. Jesus Christ. Guys, grow up. Not like he actually bite little bit. He actually eat more than half of my meal. Oh, Jesus.
I'm going to be blunt. That guy represents no masculine values at all. No matter how someone tries to justify it, what he did is not something a self-respecting man would do. A coffee date is for talking and getting to know each other, not for acting like an opportunist looking for a free meal. That's not cleverness or setting boundaries. It's pure lack of dignity, and honestly, it's embarrassing to watch. This girl, judging by her accent, seems European, maybe even Russian. For a man to do that to her must have been a shock. When I was writing this, I was laughing, because there are men out there with absolutely no shame. None at all. So that's it, woman. Today you went out with a Chad and got one hell of a surprise.
Ladies, it's 2026. What the fuck do you mean you went on a coffee date with a man? We are too beautiful, we are too grown, we are too valuable to sit with a man done up over a cup of Joe. Beautiful women do not accept coffee dates. They don't. They know their value. They know what they have to bring to the table. And they know that their time is worth more than a $5 cup of Joe. You are way too valuable and you are boosting up way too many egos when you go on coffee dates with men. You are telling the man, I am bare minimum. You can please me with a cup of Joe. Here's the thing, ladies. It's not even to be materialistic. It's not even to say that you think you're too good to drink coffee with a man. It has nothing to do with that. It has everything to do with effort. The fact that that man saw you and thought immediately, I'd love to have a cup of coffee with her. He doesn't value you. He doesn't respect you. It's about the effort. because that shows you how he views you. Another thing that I feel like you ladies keep missing, how many fucking coffee dates can these men go on in one day? That should be a clear as day sign of a serial dater. This person goes on multiple dates with women all the time over cups of coffee. He is not in a financial position to have a wife. So the next time we want to be like, oh my God, Mariah, he don't have any money. What do I do? Well, let's start back and think. Did you accept that coffee date? You did. He told you right then and there, he's not capable of being a husband. Know your value. Beautiful women don't accept coffee dates.
Oh, hell no!
It's pretty ironic, but beauty is somewhat overrated today, you know? Out of every 10 women I see, I'd say 8 are above average. But how many of those are women you'd want for a relationship? Very few, honestly. If a woman doesn't want to meet you on a coffee date, it means she's not interested. A woman who is interested in a man makes things very easy for him. If she won't accept a coffee date, where you can get to know each other and open the door to other dates, ones where, like any high-value man, you actually do make an effort, then she's not interested. This type of woman, no matter how beautiful she thinks she is, doesn't have a husband. She's over 30, at the wall, and she should have accepted a coffee a long time ago.
Women.
What the fuck do you mean you went on a coffee date with a man?
Interesting shaming tactic, calling other women names that happen to be okay with coffee dates. Yeah, I'm sure that's going to change their minds.
Beautiful women do not accept coffee dates. They don't. They know their value. They know what they have to bring to the table.
But what actually do those women bring to the table? A person never actually hears that part explained, because all I'm seeing is an attractive face and a questionable attitude.
You are way too valuable and you are boosting up way too many egos when you go on coffee dates with men.
Some women just don't understand the purpose of dating anymore, and I don't know why they don't just come out and admit it. It's a lot better than trying to hide it, because a lot of the rest of us can see it quite clearly. Because most reasonable people understand that the purpose of dating is to get to know the other person, not to try to see how much money they're willing to spend. Because quite frankly, if that's how a person is treating you before they even get to know you, then that tells you all that you need to know about that person.
Exactly. If she's forcing you to take her to an expensive place of her choosing, what she really wants is to take a photo, say she was there, and not have to pay for anything, using you purely as a sponsor for her Instagram pictures. Many of these so-called high-value women repeat the same pattern, dating older, financially stable men whom they squeeze in exchange for their presence and time. $800 dinners, hotels, exclusive restaurants, all to live a lifestyle they can't afford on their own. A self-respecting man understands something basic. Genuine interest doesn't come with absurd conditions. If a woman won't accept a coffee, it's not that she values herself too much. It's that she's not interested in you. She's interested in your wallet.
Did y'all see the video of the lady who came on the internet and said that she was invited out by a male co-worker to go have coffee after work? She said she declined it because she doesn't do coffee dates, and instead she went to a restaurant, got her little sandwich set up. And now the reason she said she declined the coffee date is because she feels basically it's a low effort date and she does not want to go on a coffee date with anybody. As the internet works, a lot of people are having a lot of mixed reactions to her making her standards known on the internet. Few of the main reasons that I'm seeing are, number one, they feel like, why is coffee date not an acceptable date, especially if you're just now getting to know somebody. And just because someone's sitting down to have coffee doesn't mean it's low effort. It just means we want to get to know somebody without a high expectancy of it becoming this whole thing. Second reason people are upset is because they feel like she is not attractive enough to have these type of standards, much less tell the internet that she has these type of standards. Basically, if you don't look like a certain way, they think that you need to be quiet and or you need to lower your standards. Now, here are my thoughts on this. Okay, so in regards to women declining coffee dates, that is their standard for their dating life. If they do not want to go on a coffee date, why are y'all so upset about it? Y'all are not dating them, okay? There are plenty women that will go on coffee dates and will enjoy a coffee date and will have no problem meeting you for a quick little brunch, a quick little, oh, you want to grab coffee at this really cute restaurant? They will have no problem with that. Why are y'all so gung-ho on beating women down into submission to say, no, every woman needs to accept coffee dates? No, go find you a coffee date woman. They're out there. They exist. What is so wrong with this lady saying, no, I don't want to do a coffee date? That brings us to the second point, where people are saying you're not even conventionally attractive enough to have this point. I will say, Looks will play a part in the way that you're received on the internet. However, anytime any woman comes on the internet and says, these are my standards for dating, attractive, conventionally attractive, or unconventionally attractive, is going to have a negative reaction every single time, no matter if they are drop dead gorgeous, right? The reaction is going to vary, but they're still going to have a visceral reaction. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen it when models come out and spoken out. I've seen it when like influencers come out and speaking out, and these are like women that are like gorgeous, and men are in the comments like, oh, well, these women, you're still just a bird, right? Like, anytime any woman comes on here and says, hey, these are what I expect from a man, the men gonna be upset. And women too, because I've seen a lot of women coming from her neck.
Cocaine's a hell of a drug.
Haha, that coworker one. You know, there was an article about a woman who went on first date dinners for more than half a year. We're talking about someone who didn't even have money to eat and managed to get by for almost a full year eating for free, thanks to foolish men who took her to restaurants in New York, which are definitely not cheap. I've always said this. If you saw how easy a woman makes things for the man she truly likes, you wouldn't try so hard to impress them. And think about it. If you have to spend a fortune just to get to know her, what's it going to be like later on, when you're actually with her? From day one, she's already putting conditions on you, when all she's really offering is her presence. Brothers, if she won't accept a coffee to get to know you, it's because she wants a free meal.
Want to know if you're dating a high-value man or just another guy wasting your time? Here's 6 ways to know right away. Number 1, consistency. He is always going to be consistent in his communication with you. He is not going to be blowing up your phone and writing you novels of text messages all day. He is going to be consistent in his choice of communication, and he is always going to text you in the morning, a check-in throughout the day, and one at night right before bed. Number 2, he's going to be grounded and stable, which may feel boring if you're used to chaos and toxic, unhealthy men. He will always be direct and clear with how he feels about you. Number 3, he has a life of his own. Work, friends, family. His life is full. He does not live in total isolation. But this doesn't mean that he's always out and partying. Every man has their own way of having a full life. This just means that he has support when he needs it. Number 4, he pays attention to detail. He listens to what you say and he's extremely observant. For example, in a conversation out with friends, you mention something that you personally use. Let's say you're talking about a product you use every day in the shower. He hears it, and the next time you go over to his house, he has that product waiting for you. Or he will do things for you based on what you have said in conversation by listening and paying attention. Number 5, he is going to have structure in his life. He won't be on edge or drinking heavily every single night to mask his emotions. He will be able to handle himself, but most importantly, he has the structure in his life. Number 6, he will always confirm plans with you the day of the date. He will make sure to know what time you will be ready, and he will never leave you wondering due to lack of communication, especially days before the date.
This is not the definition of a high-value man. It's just a man who's interested. This is what any man does when he's in love with his woman. Being affectionate and attentive is a basic requirement in any healthy relationship. Now, this is fine with me as long as you're with a woman who actually appreciates it, because many men do this, or even more, and still end up relegated to the friend zone. So keep reciprocity in mind when you're giving your love.
Guys, I just came across the most amazing quote about men and relationships that I think every woman should hear, so give me 1 minute of your time and listen to this. The man isn't the prize, the lifestyle is. Because you can find love again, but peace, luxury, freedom, that's what we don't negotiate on. And let's make one thing painfully clear. A man is not your finish line. He's not your purpose. He's not your prize. He is replaceable. The lifestyle you're building, though, the soft life, the financial freedom, the mornings you get to wake up stress-free with sunlight pouring into your luxury apartment and your name on the lease, that's the real trophy. Too many women throw away the whole garden for one rotten apple. They'll give up their dreams, their independence, and their happiness just to be able to say, I have a man. But here's the gag. What's the point of having a man if you've lost yourself in the process? So no, we don't chase men. We don't chase commitment. We build a lifestyle so delicious, so untouchable that only the most aligned and masculine men dare to approach. So let him ghost. Let him go. Because love is not rare. But your peace, your freedom, your luxury lifestyle, that is what's sacred. And no man, no matter how fine, how sweet, or how rich, gets to come in and wreck what you bled to build. He's not the prize, darling. He's just the entertainment. The lifestyle is the throne, and you are the queen, and your peace should always be untouchable. Go ahead and re-listen to that again if you need to, because that is the mantra forever and ever. Okay? Love you. Bye.
These kinds of messages sound empowering at first, but deep down they're toxic and selfish because they reduce a man to a replaceable accessory. Either he provides luxury and absolute peace, or you throw him away without looking back. It's sold as prioritize yourself, but it ends up promoting a transactional mindset where genuine love, mutual effort, and building something together take a backseat. Many women end up alone or in empty relationships because they reject solid men who offer emotional stability and real loyalty, just because they don't come with a private jet or a fully paid apartment. As a man, I'll say it clearly. We're not looking for a queen who sees us as entertainment or a temporary provider. We want a partner who adds value, who appreciates what we bring beyond money, and who builds alongside us without measuring every gesture in dollar bills.
Religion and patriarchy taught me that being chosen by a man is what made a woman valuable and even safe. So from a young age, women are taught to audition, to become desperate bitches, to be agreeable, attractive, easy, understanding, his peace, and to contort ourselves into whatever version is going to get picked. I'm no longer a pick me, I'm a skip me. For most of y'all men, I got a good one though. And when you're taught that your safety and your worth comes from being chosen by a man, you're not dating, you're desperately attaching. You're over-functioning. You're tolerating things you shouldn't. You obsess over his texts or you panic at his distance. And when the relationship struggles, your entire nervous system goes into survival mode. You're afraid. And that's why women have to learn how to detach from men and decenter men. Now, detachment doesn't mean you don't care. It means that your identity and your stability and your peace, well, it's no longer organized around a man. Decentering men means that your life has other anchors. You have your purpose, your friendships, your community, your work, your values, and your relationship with yourself. A man can become a part of your life, but he can't be the source of your safety and your value. And when you learn to detach, you're able to love without collapsing. And you can break up with somebody without losing yourself. And you can stay only when the relationship is a true partnership, one that protects your peace instead of threatens it. We have to detach because we are done surviving. We're moving on to thriving. And we're building a life that nobody gets to destabilize just by leaving us. Because you can go and we're going to be okay. Because we are anchored in so many other things than just a relationship.
This detachment and decentering men narrative sounds great when a woman is in her prime, with plenty of options and strong dating leverage, but it becomes questionable when it shows up after several divorces and the market no longer responds the way it used to. It's easy to preach independence and inner peace when you had a line of suitors and could choose freely. Now at 50, with the wall hitting hard, the mantra shifts to "I don't need anyone," because the reality is that no one is choosing her with the same intensity anymore. The patriarchy they criticize so much gave them advantages when they were young and attractive, and now they use it as an excuse to avoid admitting that time and past decisions closed doors for them.
Women.
I have something to say to all the women. Now listen, do not get mad at me for what I'm about to say. It needs to be said. If you are currently single, just stay single. And the reason why is because I see the way a lot of these guys behave, and I really don't like it. I don't trust it one bit. I get on this app every single day, and I see nothing but foolishness from men. If you don't believe me, just go through some of my videos, okay? It's crazy out there. Most of these guys have nothing to offer to you but a headache. They're not going to see you as a human being. They're not going to see you as a woman. They're not going to respect you, right? They're going to treat you like property. And I've been making content trying to help these men see the error in their ways. But guess what? They don't listen to me. So I don't know what else to tell you. There are some good men out there, okay? I'm not saying that they don't exist, but they're going to be very hard to find. Never, ever settle, okay? I'm telling you, do not do it. Listen to Bernie.
And which side of history are you on? Let me guess. You see yourself as one of the good guys, while you label the rest of us as the bad ones simply for knowing our worth. You're the typical man who wants to get famous by telling women exactly what they want to hear. But explain to me what kind of content you consume, what kind of things you say, because right now what's trendy is pointing fingers, while never acknowledging that you might be the problem. This is one of those men who don't want women to learn responsibility, because responsibility is kryptonite for women.
If you have lost all faith in the male species, as have I, just know there's still good men out there. I have been on 3 dates with this guy. The third date, he reached in the back seat, brought me these flowers, picked me up, dropped me home, made a backup reservation the same night, just in case I got cold at the first restaurant. We were supposed to get matcha the next morning. I couldn't go because I had work. He sent me the matcha to my house instead. Our fourth date is tonight. I'm about to go on it. This is what I'm wearing. He is taking me flying on a plane. He's flying the plane. He's a pilot as his hobby. So sick. Really sick. And he told me he doesn't date for fun. He dates to marry. And that's what I do as well. So if you're looking for a good guy, just know they're out there. My neighbor, she's, I think, 65, and she said you have to kiss 1,000,000 frogs before you find the prince. And I think I've kissed many frogs. And the prince is really treating me like a princess, so yeah.
I can already imagine the look of excitement she'll have when you start telling her about all the frogs you've kissed. Now, this is the fourth date. Apparently, this man still hasn't made a move. That's a bad sign. She's clearly interested. We all like a plane trip or having a hobby that's expensive. But if there's no move from him on this date, I'm sure she'll get bored. Look at her clothing style. She wants something to happen. Brothers, always remember this. By the third date, a man needs to act. At the very least, try to go for a kiss. Because if you don't, she'll send you to the friend zone. You'll just be the guy who paid for a nice date.
Rich man doesn't mean happy life. Rich man doesn't mean generous man. The way that I look at it is that, okay, you're rich. What can you do for me? Because you can be with a rich man, but sometimes men with a less income, much less income, can do so much more for you than a rich man. He can respect you more, he can love you more, he can invest you more than multimillionaire. So it's not always about a man to be rich. It's about a man to be a real man, generous, man who values woman, man who respects woman, and man who will love you, who will invest in you. If a man shows you a photo of himself on a private jet in the first class, on his mega yacht, girl, is this yacht on your name? Is this house on your name? No, it's not on your name, and it has to do nothing with you, and it doesn't show how man values you and if men actually interested in you, not just to buy you. When a man does this, actually I find it so cheap. Sometimes I get those messages on TikTok from girls, how do I get on a yacht? How do I get those rich men? Girls, they can get you on a yacht. It's not hard to be on a yacht. It's not hard to go on a vacation with a rich man. They change girls every year, every season like this. Next girl, new girl, new girl. It's not an investment in you to go on vacation and entertain him and sleep with him. This is a free escort, okay? What you have to do is that you have to see if a man actually can take care of you, invest in you emotionally, if he actually interested in what's going on in your life, what's important to you, how is your mom doing, if you need any help, how he can be useful to you in your life. Girl, that's real man. That's real man. Let's start choosing real man. I mean, if you want to do that, if you want to use a rich man, okay, girl, if you're that smart, you're a manipulator, evil bitch, go and do it. You can keep, being with a man that you actually dislike and don't like. Okay, you do you. I truly believe it's better to be with a man who truly loves you and who you respect, who you like as a person, and with who you can have a close relationship.
I have to give him credit because I've seen it. Guys who can have any woman they want, and women who truly believe that just because a man takes them to an expensive restaurant or brings them onto a yacht, he loves them. Girls, you're just the woman of this new season. Money is synonymous with power, just like having a beautiful woman. But women don't understand this. They don't see value in the average man, even when many of those men treat them better than any rich guy ever would. Many men plan their lives around this woman, while many wealthy men only plan on taking her to bed. Because believe me, no rich or well-off man wants to leave his wealth in a woman's hands. Why do you think they're not getting married anymore? They just want to live together without marriage. Let's learn from the rich, brothers.
Titled, My Wife Thinks We're Soulmates, I Think I Settled.
Oh, if I take back my ooh.
We've been together for 9 years, married for 6. She is kind, loyal, sweet, smart. She loves me deeply, and she believes we were destined to meet. I treat her well. I've never cheated. We laugh together. On paper, we're perfect. But if I'm being honest, I've never been in love with her. I cared about her, yes, but I was heartbroken when we met. She came into my life when I needed stability and comfort, and I mistook that for love. I kept thinking it would grow. It never did. Now we're in our 30s. We talk about kids. She looks at me like I'm the best thing that ever happened to her, and I feel like a fraud. I don't want to hurt her. I don't want to blow up both of our lives, but every night I lie awake, feeling like I stole the future of someone who could have had real, epic love, and I don't think I'll ever forgive myself for it.
Wait, I'm like heartbroken, and that wasn't even that long, and like I feel so attached to the. I mean, yeah, like she deserves someone who loves her.
I know.
She deserves someone who looks at her the way she's looking at him.
Oh, just
that's
twist
so
the knife.
sad. I also my fear is that the guy in the last story is going to end up like this guy of being like, oh, I think I settled. Like, I mean, this guy seems like he's potentially not coming from a negative place. He's not like, she's ugly and I could do better. He's just saying like, I've just never really been in love with her, which is really heartbreaking.
I know.
Am I reading that right? Did he say anything?
Yeah, no, he's literally said like I was waiting for the feelings to grow. I thought it would come and never did.
Some time ago, I dated a woman like that for about 6 months. At first, there was passion, but I wanted another woman, and because of life circumstances, we weren't together. So I went out with this wonderful woman, who was everything a man would look for in a wife, but I didn't love her. As a man, you end up in situations like that as if you were playing a role. You do everything right, you show up, you fulfill your duties, but you don't feel anything. As I always recommend, I was direct. I talked to her and told her the truth, that I didn't love her the way she loved me. Because I treated her well, she didn't want to break up, but she walked away without a fight. Months later, I reconnected with the woman who is now my wife, with whom I truly feel loved. To this man, I recommend that he not live an empty life, and that he speak up, but also that he keep in mind that sometimes you don't feel anything because the relationship has become monotonous or worn down. Before making an irreversible decision, make sure you can tell the difference between a relationship that has died and one that just needs to wake up.
Tell me why my husband gets home for lunch. I'm like, you want anything to eat? I can make you something. Anything you want to munch on. He goes, peanut butter and jelly. I want 2 peanut butter and jelly sandwiches. Like, this man could ask for anything. I would have made him anything he wanted. We have leftovers. We have chicken and pasta. We have burritos that I can smother in queso. He's like, no. PB&J. What a man. I mean, I'm not complaining. It's easy. It makes my job easy. I don't mind it. It's just funny. Like, I'm literally at your beck and call, and he's all, Go make me a sandwich, woman.
It's really this simple, ladies, because it's not about what is actually in the sandwich that makes it taste good. It is the level of effort and care from the person that you love making you something and handing it to you, combined with the fact that peanut butter and jelly sandwiches are consistently delicious. I dare say that everyone has at least one memory that really stands out about a peanut butter and jelly sandwich that was given to them and how delicious it was. I have two. One was when I was in high school. It was a full day of cheerleading competition that I had participated in, and my mom finally showed up with a peanut butter and jelly sandwich. I was starving and it was so good. The second was when I gave birth to my now 19-month-old daughter. The hospital kitchen was closed, and so I couldn't get anything to eat. And her dad went out and got a Uncrustable for me. He found that like in the little kitchen at the nurse's station. And I had never even had an Uncrustable before. It was so delicious. And it was just from the effort of him going out and get it. And plus, you know, I had just like labored for a while and was in terrible pain. But there's just something about it, ladies. Like, I'm serious. If you really want your way to a man's heart, just do something like this.
It's really not that hard. Most men are like this. Most want something simple, someone to sit with and spend some peaceful time together. And I love these videos because they show something very clearly. A happy, friendly woman creates a happy home. They're not oppressed, like feminists like to claim. Let's continue.
If you're a single woman today, I just want to give you something to be thankful for. What's not going to happen today, that probably did happen to you at one point in the past, is you're going to go home and you're not going to be hurt by a man. You're not going to be verbally abused by a man. You're not going to be belittled by a man, ignored by a man. Fill in the blank with whatever you used to experience that you're not going to experience today. No, today you are single. Today you are going to go home and you are going to be safe. You are going to be at peace. There's going to be a quiet stillness in your heart. No anxiety, no walking on eggshells. Home now is the place where you rest. So count your blessings and give thanks, because this is the life you dreamed of and longed for so long. You just didn't know what it looked like, and you didn't know how great it was going to feel. You just knew you wanted to be free and you wanted to be safe.
There are women who talk about marriage as if they survived a war. And the difference between them and a happily married woman is clear. The happy woman doesn't live complaining. She lives building. She performs acts of service, has her own life, goals, and interests, and also shares spaces and hobbies with her husband. She doesn't lose herself, but she doesn't abandon the relationship either. The other woman is the one who was never okay with herself to begin with. She complained about everything, turned any discomfort into her husband's fault, and dumped on him frustrations that were personal. Her health, her emptiness, her lack of purpose. She had no goals, didn't participate, didn't add value. But she did demand. And when everything falls apart, she points to the husband as the one responsible. Marriage doesn't destroy these women. It simply exposes who they already were before getting married.
Women.
Can someone explain to me why on earth men are so good at just so many random things? Like, why are men able to fix anything? Why are men able to do anything? Like, I don't understand why they're just so good at so many things. Me as a woman, I have my limitations. I'm good at some things, but I can't fix something. I can't find a solution to something. I'm not able to help someone in a situation where they have a problem as easily as I've noticed men are able to help people with that. Like, it's crazy. And the worst thing is they're not just able to do it, like they will do it. They actually care so much, even if you're not important to them, quote unquote, they're gonna be there and they're gonna help you fix a problem. Men are great. Some men are really great.
It's because he has been pushed to be totally self-sufficient since birth. Because if he didn't learn how to fix it himself, it wouldn't be fixed by anybody. And then he'll be blamed for it not being fixed. No one will do it for him simply because he's cute. This is what a lot of women don't understand, because men are logical thinkers and they actually like to figure out how to fix things. They like to know a lot of random things. Like, I can tell you, even with having an 8-year-old son, he is already falling into this. Like, he gets into phases of learning all about dinosaurs, sharks. He knows every single one of them out there. And now he is talking about the bloop and the El Gran Maha, like some sort of sea monster. These are things that I never knew about. He's teaching me. My point is that men already enjoy these things because they're good at it. And then on top of that, we have the pressure from society and from women for men to know these things and to fix things. And that is because men's value is based on how useful he is. And that is the part that men just want to be appreciated for.
Men learn from everything because we're taught to see the world through usefulness. As long as you're useful, you'll be valued. It's harsh, but that's the reality of being a man. Also, I think men like learning skills. My father always told me from a young age, learn skills that make your life easier. I, for example, learned some basic residential electrical work. I know a bit about plumbing. I take care of my yard, and I enjoy cooking. It's something I recommend every man learn. In my home, aside from very technical things, I fix almost everything myself. I don't consider myself an expert, I just do simple things. I think this is for 2 reasons. I enjoy learning, and I don't like paying for everything. Nowadays, any home repair costs a lot of money, and every man who owns a home knows that.
So my husband is really upset and really angry that I'm filing for divorce. He says he feels betrayed, not by the fact that I don't want to be with him or that that we're breaking up, or the family's breaking up. He says he feels betrayed because I am just pushing this on him, springing this on him is what he said. And he had no idea what was going on, which of course is completely untrue because I've had many conversations with him. And specifically last year before the holidays, I sat him down and told him that I was going to do this if we didn't do something to fix the marriage. He specifically told me he was not interested in doing anything to fix the marriage. And I said, well, then I'm going to be filing for divorce after the holidays. Now that I've followed through on what I said I was going to do, he's upset and feels betrayed because he didn't see any of this coming. He specifically told me that when I talked to him before the holidays about wanting to get a divorce or wanting to fix the marriage and all that, he thought I was just saying that I was unhappy. And that didn't raise any flags for him at all because he's also unhappy. He's miserable, I'm miserable, and that's just our marriage. Why would anything change based on the fact that either one of us was unhappy? So I know the real reason that he's upset is because I'm disrupting the status quo. I've lived with this for a number of years and I just don't want to live this way anymore. And now I'm doing something about that to change it. If it was up to him, we'd stay married and we'd stay married just the way that we are. We wouldn't be doing anything to improve the marriage or improve our relationship, but we also wouldn't be ending it either. A lot of his anger is just the fact that I'm turning over the apple cart and I'm saying I don't want to do it anymore. Like, how dare I try to change everything? How dare I say I deserve something better or I want something better or I just don't want this anymore? Like, the audacity of me to do that. That's what he's really upset about, that I want something different and something better. And he truly does not understand why.
No, God! No, God, please, no! 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 No!
Your husband says that because he feels you were constantly picking fights with him over everything, all the time, and he never thought you were serious. Maybe reality is hitting him now, but I've seen other videos of yours where you're crying because once this man processed the situation, his lawyer contacted you, and he also stopped supporting you financially, something many women apparently never take into account when they want to leave a man. The money goes with the man, too. But let's continue.
Everyone always says, oh, marry your best friend, marry your best friend. Well, guess what? I married my best friend, and do you know what happens? Nothing. We don't get shit done because we're doing best friend things, okay? Yesterday, after work, we were supposed to be making dinner. One of us was supposed to be making dinner. We talked in the kitchen for a half an hour, not making dinner. Dinner's late. Kids are like, what's going on? I don't know. I was hanging out with your dad. Okay, leave me alone. All the time. He is away for work a lot, and he calls me, and I'm like, okay, I'm not going to talk to him very long because I have things to do, stuff going on at the house. 35 minutes later, I'm still on the phone with this asshole. Because he's my best friend. I can't help it. I don't even want to talk to him that long, but it just happens. That's what happens when you're besties.
This is the side of social media that I love to see because it normalizes liking your husband. We see so much negative content out there, and trust me guys, I fall victim to this because of the content that I talk about. And yes, that negative stuff is there. Let's not invalidate that. But the reality is that there's a lot of good, healthy relationships that are totally worth it. This is obviously one of them, and kudos to her for speaking out. This is the type of woman that I am all for supporting.
Absolutely. This woman makes it clear that her husband brings joy to her life. Communication is key in any relationship. The best relationships are the ones where the couple talks a lot with each other. If you have this right now in your relationship, congratulations. You found a good one. Value her, bro. We've reached the end of the video, but before we go, the questions are for you. What carries more weight in a long-term marriage? The initial passion or the daily attitude of support, care, and cooperation? How many relationships fail not because of major problems, but because of constant complaints and a lack of real communication? If you enjoyed the video, make sure to give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell. Your support means the world to us and motivates us to keep creating more content. Stay tuned for the next exciting video from the wall.